Uh, to introduce myself, you all know me, Greg Malveaux, and just to reiterate some of the points that were said. I've been an educator for 25 years now, and from I feel like the point of being a substitute teacher and really paying my dues and digging deep as a substitute teacher, it's a real challenge. And working my way up and spending even a little bit of time overseas to teach English to those who could really use that sort of assistance. And I have a doctorate in education and administration as well. I'm a current professor with English literature and composition. So traditional education, traditional curriculum is important to me. And I believe two out of those three things with math, I don't cover math, but certainly with writing and reading, except at the college level, I come across students all the time through dual enrollment. So I have the ninth graders, the 10th graders, 11th, so forth, a lot of exposure to the high schoolers. I'll say right off the bat that I am concerned about literacy and the rate of literacy and learning that's going on. And what I've seen from 2 decades ago when I started in 2000 at the college to today is a great contrast. So I'm really concerned about the level of literacy and how it's dropped. And even the distractions that we need to be concerned about at our schools do infiltrate and start to come to the colleges as well. I am happy and proud to say that I'm a father of a child who does have special needs, but mainly a middle school student, and he motivates me every day to assist our schools and make sure our children get what they need. I enjoy my time volunteering with the Boy Scouts. I did skip the weekend camping trip so I could be here early and not be too tired and return Sunday from some freezing cabin, off in Pennsylvania. I was like, not this weekend, sorry. So that didn't happen. But usually I'm a great volunteer for the Scouts. I'm a volunteer for our PTO, at Shiloh Middle, and I'm the guy that helps to organize restaurant nights. So, when the restaurant each month, to help fundraise for them, we're going to this restaurant, that restaurant. I make sure that that's all in order. And a number of other things. I've gotten to be very happy in terms of connecting with the farming community, the agriculturalists, and so forth. So, and they've embraced me. I'd like to talk about my priorities. I'd like to talk about my values and what I'm going forth with in terms of with the Board of Education. If I'm on the Board of Ed, what's important to me. I want to focus on academics and traditional education, as I said. And I do want to keep Carroll County as one of the top, if not the top, districts and schools that we have in the state. And I'll do everything that I can to make sure that whatever dollars are spent are raised towards student math, reading, and science scores to raise those. I always want parents to be able to have the option to opt out. I appreciate what our current Board of Education has done in terms of that. I've utilized that myself with my son. I didn't think he was mature enough in terms of the curriculum that the state put forth with sexual education and family life. I used what our Board of Education in Carroll County put forth in terms of sexual education. And so I opted out of the state. I want us to continue to have that opt out. I want that local control to make sure that the values of Carroll County come first, always. These state mandated topics that don't align with us, we cannot have that. I want to keep social and political agendas out of school. And so as an educator of 25 years, believe me, I've seen it. I'm experiencing it. I have it right now. I don't want the same for Carroll County. I want to protect Carroll County from that. And so a student who takes my class, for example, does not need to know my politics, should not know my politics. We need to provide material and resources that are not a singular view, but multifaceted, multiple views, multiple educational materials, not this singular view that they continue to get. We need to make sure that our students continue to be critical thinkers for themselves, not be told, what to think, but they need to be taught how to think critically and for themselves. So I want to continue to push for that. Um, I'm a believer in parent-teacher collaboration. Absolutely, parent-teacher collaboration needs to occur. Research is clear, it shows it, that students succeed or they excel when parents and teachers actually work together. And so this needs to happen, a partnership in terms of educating our children. I want parents and teachers to even be able to have a say in terms of development with curriculum and to work with me and the Board of Ed in terms of sensible policies and developing that. I'm a big believer in giving students multiple pathways, and Carroll County is doing a rather good job with this. The child or the children in our school should have options. That could be the option of going to college. That could be the option of having a trade. That can be the option of learning important skills and getting an important education so that they can go right into the workforce after high school, because college isn't for everybody. That's fine. So I want to make sure that we have those multiple pathways, and we tend to have that with our Career and Tech Center in terms of that provides a good deal. I think they're doing a great job with the Career and Tech Center. I've had a tour of the facility by the people who are running it, and it's a great resource. Of course, again, I mentioned dual enrollment. That's great. That's helping in terms of giving students the ability to get different college credits throughout high school. So, and they can always have those. So it's a great experience. And I'll add this. Our schools are also providing TA or teacher's assistants positions. So students who are in school, in high school, can be TAs for their instructors, their teachers. And I think that's a great opportunity. So they have multiple pathways. I want to retain and reward our amazing teachers. I do. And so they should be fairly compensated for their talent and what they've done. And our students are consistently top 3 in terms of test scores. And so they need to be compensated. And I know that in Montgomery County, those teachers were making $63,000 years ago. And so this is a part of a blueprint that I actually support and say that, you know what, I'm glad they're trying to equal that and balance that. And now our teachers are starting to be looked at. We need to have 60,000 in a few years. So we're going to hopefully catch up to some of the other counties. But our teachers, for what they've done, should be earning, exactly what the others have done, and even more, because they've excelled in terms of results. I will work with our state delegation and our commissioners to make sure, again, that every dollar is possible to keep our Carroll County schools the best. That's what we want to do, but not any needless spending. We want to be careful with that as well. And it kind of goes into this, I'm definitely into fiscal responsibility and transparency. Half of our county's taxpayer dollars are through the Board of Ed and education. And so we have to be very careful in terms of our spending and make sure that every dollar is spent wisely. Our Board of Education went ahead and took the lead in terms of the blueprint and said, you know what, we're concerned. How are we going to pay for this? This is too much. The taxpayer is going to pay for this. We need to step back and consider this and pause. Let's break on this a little bit. And so they were the leaders in doing that. Other counties have come forth as well, and now they're saying, you know what, this blueprint, as it's mandated, is not going to work. It's too expensive. It's too costly. We're not going to be able to do this. It's going to cause our teachers issues. It's going to cause, different parents issues. It's going to cause taxpayers a lot of issues. So we really need to look at this. So I'll ensure that we stay within budget and that we spend every cent on keeping students safe while delivering an education that mirrors Carroll County values. Another area or interest for me, and let me pause. My wife, Lisa, has come. Lisa, please join us. Thank you for coming.
As well as our state delegate, Chris Tomlinson, who's not in.
Yes, there he is, Chris Tomlinson. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, as I've said, I want to keep Carroll County schools strong and safe. We must be or continue to be the leader in education. Other counties wonder how Carroll achieves these superb test scores with such limited funds. I will ensure that our schools stay strong academically, but also we take proactive measures in terms of safety. We wanted to reduce disruptions. We don't want bullying. We don't want fighting in school. So there are a couple, and I'm not going to go into great detail, but for example, I think that mentoring is important. So at Winters Mill, for example, they're doing mentoring among students. The older students are helping the younger students adjust to the area and the territory. And so that should continue, I think, with mentoring going on between students. I think that the SROs are an important piece to the school and safety, and knowing that there's an officer in school to make sure that things and fighting and so forth doesn't occur. I think that we should again look to reduce class sizes for teachers so things don't get too disruptive. If there are too many students and there's too much traffic, individual students need individual needs and they're not always getting that, and that creates disruption. Boredom is bad. If they get bored, they're going to be disruptive. So, we have to make sure that they are getting the attention that they need. And I will say this, I always will listen and learn. I'm always open to listening and learning. I have made it a point to talk to people throughout Carroll County in terms of teachers and what are they experiencing, students I've interviewed and I've talked to, parents and experts, those who have been on the board, those who are on the board, and our community leaders. I'm right now, and I continue to be a sponge and try to understand what's needed. So I will always listen to all perspectives, and I will rely upon experts, and I will challenge stakeholders to tell the entire story. I'll never compromise my values. Kids, teachers, our school system will always be first. Know that. And I will say this, I feel that my Christian background also is important in terms of sustaining those values and using those as I go forth, with my campaign and my trip to try to be on the Board of Education. And I'm not afraid to say that. We really have to think about this. And I want to reiterate this point that the wolf is at the door. Okay. And so I, again, in my, experience in education, have seen and have left another county to come here to educate our son because I know what's out there. I've been a part of it. I've seen it with the other schools. Political, social agendas, and it's infiltrating other counties, and it keeps trying to come here, and it's knocking at the door. And some of our schools are already starting to fall victim. We cannot have a board that's not conservative. We need to have Kristen and myself in there. We don't want to turn this around and have this go the opposite direction. But it is there. It is very close. And so I want to do my best to make sure that we don't have that sort of indoctrination to come into our schools and to protect that. That's essential. That's pretty much in terms of my priorities, my pillars, my values that I could go on and on, but I don't want to talk your ear off. And I have a tendency to be able to do that, where I go on and on. So